It's Thursday, March 14. This is the news on PBCJ. I'm Carol Francis. Safety concerns has reportedly prompted the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority, JCCA, to issue a directive which came into effect at midnight, placing temporary restrictions on the controversial Boeing 737-8 MAX and 737-9 MAX aircraft from entering its airspace. The ban will remain until further notice. The directive comes after an Ethiopian Airlines flight of the same model crashed shortly after takeoff on Sunday. All 157 people on board the flight from Addis Ababa died. It's reportedly the second time in less than 6 months that a brand new Boeing aircraft crashed minutes after takeoff. A Lion Airline flight went down over the Java Sea in October 2018. All 189 people on board that flight died. There is no conclusive evidence that the two incidents are linked. The JCCA notes that companies that would have operated flights into Jamaica before receiving the directive are allowed one non-commercial flight to reposition its aircraft. Motorists will have to pay more out of pocket for gasoline today. Ex-refinery costs from Petrojam shows 87 and 90 octane gasoline will be sold for $128.53 and $131.37 per liter, respectively, up by $1.46 each. Automotive diesel fuel will be sold for $131.50 per liter, following a decrease of $3. Ultra-low sulfur diesel is down by $1.56 and will be sold for $134.70 per liter. The cost of kerosene has also decreased. Consumers can expect to pay $109.67 per liter, a decrease in price by $2.37. Marketing companies and retailers will add their respective markup. A section of Hagley Park Road between Gretna Green Avenue and Waltham Park Road is now closed to vehicular traffic. The National Works Agency, NWA, says the closure will remain in effect until Friday, March 15, to facilitate the installation of sewer lines. Communication and Customer Service Manager of the NWA, Stephen Shaw, is advising motorists traveling towards 3 miles to turn left onto Waltham Park Road, then right onto Gretna Green Avenue, then go across Hagley Park Road to get onto Maho Drive. The reverse obtains for motorists traveling in the opposite direction. Road users are urged to exercise caution when traveling within the construction zone and to obey the instructions of flagged persons and posted warning signs. Nomination of candidates for the by-election in Portland Eastern takes place tomorrow, Friday, March 15, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Port Antonio Courthouse. Damian Crawford will reportedly represent the People's National Party. He will face off against the Jamaica Labour Party's candidate, Anne-Marie Vaz. On nomination day, anyone wishing to register as a candidate is required to complete a nomination form, which has been signed by 10 or more electors registered to vote in the constituency. Once the form is completed, it should be given to the returning officer between the hours of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. A nomination fee of $15,000 is also required. Subject to the provisions of the Constitution of Jamaica, Sections 39 and 40, any person seeking to enter as a candidate to sit in the House of Representatives should be a citizen of Jamaica, resident in Jamaica for at least 12 months prior to the date of nomination, or a Commonwealth citizen who has resided in Jamaica for at least 12 months prior to the nomination date. Jamaica's economy is doing very good and could be used as a model to other countries. So said Prime Minister Andrew Holness at the launch of the annual Diplomatic Week event at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel in Kingston. According to Mr. Holness, Jamaica is in a better position compared to previous years. He highlighted several significant infrastructure development projects taking place in the capital and noted the positive economic impact they will have on the regeneration of Kingston. He gave the assurance that continuous strategies inclusive of social interventions are being implemented to deal with crime. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade is currently hosting the annual Diplomatic Week under the theme Building Stronger Partnerships for Sustainable Development. Visitor arrivals to Jamaica for the first 9 weeks of this year has exceeded 1 million. Jamaica is the first Caribbean island to achieve this milestone. The earnings for the period is estimated at US $800 million. Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Edmund Bartlett, made the disclosure during an address at the official opening of Montego Bay's newest attraction, the Grander View Restaurant and Event Place. According to Mr. Bartlett, food tourism will become, quote, the major driver for growth and the experiential tourism product in Jamaica. He adds that it is also going to be the basis on which a larger number of ordinary Jamaicans are going to be involved in the value chain of tourism. Mr. Bartlett says the increase in visitor arrivals also signals an increased demand for Jamaican goods and services, including vegetables and fruit farmers. He also said coffee is being treated as an international product in tourism. To that end, starting this year, every visitor that comes to Jamaica on a cruise ship will get a cup of Jamaican coffee at the terminal when they arrive. The Grander View is the only facility of its kind in Montego Bay, featuring an observation tower on the 3rd floor that offers a 180-degree captivating view of the northern coast of the city. It also boasts an executive lounge, a conference room, and an exquisitely laid-out dining room. What happens when two unlikely worlds collide? You end up with something new and exciting, a performance like no other. What is it? It is the world premiere of Jamaican composer Andrew Marshall's work called the Conca Bank Symphony. The Immaculate Conception High School Symphony Orchestra, with over 70 members, directed by world-renowned conductor Stephen Woodham, is known for its amazing performances and groundbreaking work. Another milestone they will create is the performance of the world premiere of Jamaican composer Andrew Marshall's work called the Conca Bank Symphony. It's specially written for the Immaculate Conception High School Symphony Orchestra. The work is seen as extremely powerful and groundbreaking, as it incorporates Jamaican traditional instruments, including the abeng.
I was given this instrument called the abeng, and at first I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can learn this, because, you know, like the baritone has this thing called a mouthpiece, so it was easier to make sound, but this doesn't have anything, you know, you just have to blow in there. So I was just like, I can't do this, but you know, I just practiced every day, and then eventually I got it. So to get a lower pitch note, you put your hand inside the instrument, so. And to get a higher pitch note, you would take your hand out.
Well, a symphony orchestra normally has, you know, the strings, the violin, violas, cellos, the brass and woodwind section. It also has percussion as well. With this particular orchestra, we have incorporated traditional Jamaican instruments, and we're talking about the abeng, we're talking about the chromanti drums, we're having, you know, all the various instruments that we have. And it's very, very interesting what we've put together with all of this. And it is a unique flavor and a real sense of identity.
The Bank Symphony is a musical narrative of the history of the Maroons in Jamaica.
It helps to not only narrate a specific moment in time. This is a great Maroon War between the colonial forces at the time. But what it does is that it helps us to examine in an artistic way, a musical way, our own tradition, the strains of what we've had, the West African culture, we've had the European culture, we have mixes of other influences from Asia and everywhere. And this particular symphony helps us to show and to really examine these particular qualities as well.
The Bank Symphony will be performed across the island and hopefully North America and Europe.
This particular work that we have is actually a significant work. It's not many orchestras that can claim their own sort of work that has been dedicated to them. And not only that, is that this particular symphony orchestra that we have with these young, very talented students, which also incorporates a choir as well, by the way, is quite significant, and it has a unique voice, and this is really very interesting. I've been invited before to Paris to see if we could probably play there, and I was always very curious, what would we carry, what sort of music? And it is not a matter of simply doing a folk song or some familiar pop music. This particular work that we have is an artistic endeavor. And we are the interpretive artists for Andrew Marshall's work, and it really is quite significant.
The members of the orchestra say they are honored to be a part of the groundbreaking Conquer-Crabba Abeng Symphony.
It's not common to see a symphony orchestra playing a Jamaican piece that has to do with the heritage of the country, and with different instruments such as the abeng and certain drums that we have. It's original, it's an original piece, and it's very different from what you would normally hear other orchestras play.
In regional news, President David Granger has written to the chairman of the Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM, retired Justice James Patterson, requesting that the commission presents him with a work program in the shortest possible time. In the letter, Granger noted that it is essential that he is informed of the commission's readiness to deliver credible elections in Guyana. The main opposition People's Progressive Party, the PPP, has been calling for fresh regional and general elections to be held no later than March 19, in keeping with the provisions of the Guyana Constitution, following the successful tabling of a motion of no confidence last December against the coalition government. But GECOM has said it is unable to hold credible elections within the 90-day period as stipulated by the Constitution, and instead is proposing a date in July. Bermuda's Premier David Burt has reportedly called the European Union's decision to put the British Overseas Territory on a list of global tax havens a setback, but said he was confident it would soon be reversed.
Bermuda is compliant, and we are confident that within a matter of weeks, that will be accepted by EU member states and Bermuda will be removed from this list. This confidence is shared by the United Kingdom government, who through the Treasury specifically stated, and I quote, that Bermuda has legislated to address the issue identified. In light of this, we expect Bermuda and other compliant jurisdictions to be removed from the list at the next available opportunity. End quote.
EU governments adopted a broadened blacklist of tax havens on Tuesday, adding 10 jurisdictions to the updated list. They are Bermuda, the Dutch Caribbean island of Aruba, Barbados, Belize, Fiji, the Marshall Islands, Oman, the United Arab Emirates, and Dominica. Unlocking potential, that's the theme of the Caribbean Court of Justice CCJ Strategic Plan 2019-2024. The plan will reportedly chart the court's direction over the next 5 years. President of the CCJ and chairman of the Strategic Planning Committee, Justice Adrian Saunders, said the implementation of the strategic plan will help to move the CCJ forward. It contains 6 strategic issues, namely communication, independence and accountability, high-performance environment, equality, fairness and integrity in promoting the rule of law, organizational capacity for caseload growth, and enhanced regional system capacity and performance. The strategic plan was developed using a collaborative process with input from representatives of the Caribbean Community, CARICOM, the Regional Judicial and Legal Services Commission, bar associations, law schools and faculties of law. It is the second strategic plan in the organization's history. And we go to sports, and we are on track with athletics. 5 defibrillators will be used at this month's Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletic Championships. They were donated by Don Webby, the Chief Executive Officer of Grace Kennedy. The highly anticipated championships, which is in its 109th staging this year, will be held at the National Stadium March 26 to 30. A record 113 boys' schools and 108 girls' schools and over 3,000 athletes have registered to participate in the 5-day championships. Mr. Webby, who is a past student of St. George's College, underlined the importance of the devices, which he says will play an important role in saving the lives of Jamaican athletes. He cited the recent incident involving Jamaica's 10,000-meter and 5,000-meter record holder Kimora Campbell, who collapsed while competing at the Milrose Games in New York a month ago. And that's our package. Join us again tomorrow, same time, same place for more news, right here on PBCJ, the People's Station.